Well, good morning. Welcome into my tent, and I'm sure you can hear that it's raining. This is morning number one, so I spent my first night out here. I'm in the Ozarks, Ozark National Forest, and just after I got settled in for a nice cool night, I had my tent flaps open, expecting some nice cool breezes, but of course that wasn't to be. I heard some thunder coming. I don't know when it was. It was not too early, not too late, I should say, just after the sunset early, and I knew that thunder was going to be bad news, so I quickly scrambled out of the tent and got some stuff under the shelter here. There was a few things just out in the open. I didn't want to get wet. I had my hammock up. I wanted to pull that down. I had a towel hanging up there. I wanted to pull that in. That kind of stuff. But just got back in the tent, and boy, it just opened up, and it poured, and it rained all night. This is the first time, actually, I've had this tent in the rain, and I have to say, it did really well. It kept me very dry inside here. Now, my problem is I did not pitch it in a good spot. The water is collecting on the ground. Maybe you can see, I don't know if you can tell down there, but it's kind of muddy. So I'm sitting on mud. Hopefully it's not too bad right under me. Hopefully the tent kept it dry. But you can see on this side too, where my shoes are. And kind of muddy. Got the tent a little dirty. I'm gonna have to clean that. But woke up this morning. Let's see. I'm thinking it's about 8 o'clock right now. I woke up probably an hour ago, and it wasn't raining, so I was glad of that. Woke up with a headache and kind of achy. I was awake off and on all night because you know how it is. I just kept checking to make sure that this tent wasn't leaking. I didn't know if I could trust it. The last time I slept. Well, let me say that differently. The last time I was caught in a rainstorm in a pup tent on the ground, I spent all night just trying to stay dry. The thing flooded almost. It was a terrible situation. I was out backpacking, and it's the last time I used a pup tent on the ground. After that, I switched to hammock camping. I swore I'd never sleep on the ground again. But here I am on the ground again. But that's because I'm going out west, and I don't know how many trees I'm going to be able to find. And the downside to hammock camping, there's mostly upsides. It's really comfortable and keeps you off the ground. You can stay really dry. I've been in rainstorms in my hammock shelter, and I've stayed dry. My equipment stayed dry. It works great. But the downside is you can't always. You got to have trees, right? And you got to have them the right distance apart. It's a little harder to find a campsite, I guess is what I'm saying, if you're out on the road. If you're in the woods backpacking, it's perfect. There's trees all around you. But I didn't know what to expect out there, so I thought, why not? I'll just take this, and I've got a good Thermarest mattress or a backpacking sleeping pad. It worked great. I actually slept pretty good. But anyway, my point is, the last time I was in a tent, I had that memory. So I'm up, every 30 minutes, I'm getting out the flashlight, and I'm peering in the corners to see if I'm getting leaks in, and it did. It stayed dry. Everything's dry inside. It's great. Worked great. Other than the mud on the outside, tent held up. So good. And anyway, I woke up this morning. It was not raining, so I jumped up. I was able to go down to the creek and rinse off a few things that did get muddy that I left outside, my shoes and my cooking pot, some other things that were right under the shelter here. Got muddy, splattered. So I washed that and was able to cook up some oatmeal and made a little cup of decaf coffee that I'm still working on. Did I say decaf? I meant instant coffee. And it's not very good, but it was warm and it's helping me wake up. And anyway, just as I finished that, I got back in the tent and started to, I rolled up my sleeping bag and started to get ready to pack up and get out of here, and it started to rain again. So here I am. I don't know how long I'm going to be in this tent. I'm not going to try to strike camp in the rain. There's no reason to do that. I've got nobody waiting for me on the other side. That's one of the benefits of traveling alone, and I'll just kick back in the tent here, snooze. Everything's in the tent now, nothing's gonna get wet. It's just a matter of being a little bit bored, so that's why I'm making this video. So, no offense, but you're who I go to when I'm a little bit bored. But good night overall, considering it could have been worse. All my equipment's dry. I'm dry. I stayed warm. Anyway, that's my report from the Ozark National Forest on May the 26th.